This month's giveaway is a softcover copy of The Lion.
It's all good. It's all
Yeah, it's
good.
all good. The Lion, doing it again.
That's because you've been thinking Kenya. You got lions on the mind.
That's right. Okay, The Liar's Treasure. It's a softcover copy of The Liar's Treasure. Hi, Terri Gillespie here, and welcome to A2A Author to Authors with me, Terri Gillespie. And once again, I want to say thank you so much to my subscribers. We hit a milestone of over 100,000 subscribers. Thank you. And let's not stop. Let's keep subscribing, getting more and more subscribers. So if you're a new viewer, boy, if you could just punch that red button, subscribe button, and when the little white bell comes up, be sure and click that and you won't miss any future episodes because you're going to love this year, especially there are going to be some great authors and some great books. I'm so excited. And this month is award-winning and best-selling author, adventure, suspense, swashbuckling author Connie Mann. And I can't wait for you to get to know her. Now, her newest book is The Liar's Treasure, and it's book 2 of the Speranza Team series. It comes out March 10th, so pre-order. Tyndale is the publisher, and it is so good. And I was so excited for this second book. Because the first book, The Crown Conspiracy, just really whetted my appetite for more. And you're going to learn all about the Speranza team and what they represent, which is exciting. And please be sure to like, comment, share. Um, Not only does this help authors, but you could win a copy, a softcover copy of The Liar's Treasure. So, are you ready to meet Connie Mann, our featured author? Okay, here we go. Welcome, Connie.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
Well, I'm delighted too.
It's so fun to meet you finally.
Yeah, I've been following you for some time and watching all your exciting adventures. So now, one thing, you are a captain, and there's a boat involved. So, are you part of the Coast Guard?
No, I'm not, but I am a boat captain. So I do drive a boat. I have what you call a merchant mariner credential, which is
Ooh,
issued by the Coast Guard. It basically is a commercial captain's license. So where I work now in New Smyrna Beach, Florida, I get to take a tour boat out with up to 40 guests to see dolphins. So it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. So it might as well be me, right? So that's
my
really fun
gosh.
to show
Yeah.
people dolphins and stuff. So it's a commercial license, but I am not part of the Coast Guard. They just
Okay.
issue my credential.
Okay. Well, that's still pretty cool.
It's very,
Yeah.
it's very fun. I've been doing that for 20 years. Yeah, I've had my license for 20 years.
That is so cool. I know when I was growing up, and all the little girls wanted to have ponies and things like that. I wanted a dolphin.
Did you? Oh, well,
Mhm.
then you need to come to Florida and go out on a boat ride, and we can show you some dolphins in the wild. It's really, really pretty cool.
So, how often do you go on these cruises, take these tours?
These days, I only usually work 1 day a week. I used to work a lot more than that, but nowadays I've cut back a little bit to allow for more time to do other things. So I usually just work 1 day a week, sometimes two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So between that and I know you have some ministry work as well, and of course families, and then of course being a best-selling and award-winning author. So how can my viewers and my listeners keep in touch with you?
Oh, what a great question. So, the best way is my monthly newsletter that I send out. And of course, I never sell any of that. Okay. But if you go to my website, conniemann.com, and sign up for the newsletter, it goes out every month. And a couple times a year, I do special subscriber only giveaways that are I don't announce in advance usually. Special things just for subscribers. So I do that. And also every month for I do a monthly contest where I give a book away. So that's one of the
Oh,
best ways to stay in touch is through my newsletter. I'm also on Facebook. I have a profile and an author page, and also on Instagram. And I'm Captain Connie Mann, CAPT, Connie Mann, abbreviated, on Instagram. So that's where you mostly find me hanging out. Yeah, if I'm not on a boat or in my office.
well, that's pretty exciting, actually.
Yeah.
Now, all of those links are going to be down in the description section, so we'll be able to. It'll be a snap for you to get in touch with Connie. So, also to be able to pre-order the latest Speranza book,
Mhm.
um, which is The Liar's Treasure, which I loved,
Oh, good.
absolutely loved.
I'm glad.
It's coming out March 10th. It's published by Tyndale.
Mhm.
So pre-order. Just
Yes.
in case you don't win the giveaway, be sure and pre-order.
Yes, absolutely.
Um, so before we talk about your latest novel, can you explain the Speranza team?
Sure. Yeah. So it was an idea that I floated around in my head for a long time. I don't know, other writers do that too, where there's some
Oh
little
yeah,
like, niggles back here and
yeah.
this one was years. And I've always loved adventure stories, right? Give me action, give me adventure, give me exotic locations and a quest or you know, action, a treasure hunt, add in a secret society, and I am hooked, right? I'm there. I am all about it. But I started looking at it going, seems like it's always men doing all the really fun stuff. They're the ones being the heroes and saving the day and doing all of that. And I was like, huh. And the women were sort of supporting roles, which I thought was grossly unfair. So I said, you know what? Let me flip that on its head and write adventure featuring women. And then I thought, well, let me take that a step further and say, well, what if they're really cool women? They're talented, they're flawed, they're tough, but they don't have like magical powers, right? They're not like your superheroes, but they're everyday women who take on the challenges, who get the job done. They're kicking butt and taking names, right? At this point. And they save the day. And I thought, that's what we want. That's what we need. Women, we need that for women. And so then I thought, well, what about a secret society? Which, of course, sent me down the research rabbit hole into all of that. But Speranza means hope, right? So all of my stories always have hope as the theme that runs through every time. Second chances, hope. So I created an emblem. I had an artist create it for me. But it's a hope and it's an anchor, which for mariners, right, means
Right.
hope always is the anchor. So it's an anchor with a feather over it from the old Emily Dickinson quote of the hope is the thing with feathers, right? And so
Mm,
that is the emblem for that secret society that's a modern day that's been going on since, hundreds of years of women helping women. And that's where it came from. And so I got very excited about that idea. And in the stories, then a different team member takes center stage for that particular adventure and that for that story. Yeah.
yeah, I what I loved about it was that each woman had a different skill set,
Hmm.
and they excelled in that skill set. And it's like how do you incorporate swashbuckling in everyday life? So there has to be this secret team of women who do that, who are really searching for injustice
Yes.
and looking to right the
Wrong.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. I love that you get it, because sometimes people go, and I love when somebody goes, yes, I get that, think
Oh, well,
five
yeah, I
plus
wish
this
we
for
had it.
women, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah.
So the liar's treasure. Oh my goodness. Um, it was even more, there was even more action
Mhm.
than the first book, the Crown Conspiracy,
Mhm.
which was book one. You don't have to read book one to read the liar's treasure, but boy, you should. You really should, because you get to know these women, and I want to get to know them more.
Yeah.
So
Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate that it was a Christie finalist, The Crown Conspiracy. So that was pretty cool too.
that
See,
was pretty cool.
a lot of
Yeah.
people enjoyed that, so that was really cool. Yeah.
So, I read a portion of it during the top picks, but listen, my listeners and my viewers, they always love to hear the author read their own work. So, would you read for us?
Oh, okay. Yes, I have a little excerpt here. So let me set the stage though, for you. So I wanted something from the beginning to hopefully whet people's appetites. It's in chapter 2. And so Camille, who is the heroine in this book, and her teenage daughter, Cass, they're coming home from a fancy literacy fundraiser hosted by Camille's gran, who's a fancy high society New Orleans lady, right? And Camille and her daughter are dressed out in these poofy ball gowns that they both hate, but they did it for Gran, right? Because you don't mess with Gran. And so they put up with it, and now they're walking back to the car, and all of a sudden, someone starts chasing them. Okay, and they don't know why, of course. And in the mix of all this, Lucien, who was Camille's high school crush, who she had run into at the party and had really thrown her for a loop, he shows up to help. So I figured we'd start with that. How about that? So
Sounds
uh,
good.
so I'll read you this short little excerpt here. So run! Camille barely registered Lucien's husky voice before he grabbed Cass's hand and they sprinted down the block and around the corner, fighting their gowns with every step. Lucien had bought them a few seconds, but no more. Camille glanced over her shoulder. The guy in black turned the corner and growled as he barreled toward them. She spotted Lucien a few steps behind him, quickly closing the gap. Beside her, Cass wheezed and tried to slow their pace. I can't breathe. Camille tightened her grip, tugging Cass along. We can't slow down right now, baby. We have to keep moving. She'd made her share of enemies in her work with Speranza, and until she knew exactly who was after them, they needed to get out of here. Quick. Cass nodded and did her best to keep up, muttering, stupid dress, as she stumbled. A quick peek confirmed the man was gaining on them. Camille checked the streets around them. Stay with me. I have a plan. Trying, Cass panted. You can do this. You're tough. Still running full out, Camille kept one hand on her dress, let go of Cass's hand, and rooted around in her camera bag with her other until her fingers found what she wanted. She hung a quick left, then pulled them into an alley, ducking behind a dumpster. She pushed Cass further into the shadows, then fished her lighter from the bag's side pocket. Camille lit the fuse and rolled the smoke bomb toward the mouth of the alley. As soon as the smoke started to swirl, she grabbed Cass's hand and turned in the opposite direction. Let's get out of here. Cass glanced over her shoulder as they ran, pink smoke billowing, obscuring the alley behind them. What is that? A distraction left over from my last photo shoot. It's a girl. Cass snorted and almost tripped again. I can't laugh and run. At least it kept Cass's mind off her terror. Camille slowed slightly, then squeezed her daughter's hand. I've got you. Keep going. They raced to the end of the alley, turned down another. Mom! Camille checked behind them, turned back, and plowed right into Cass, who'd stopped short. They'd hit a dead end. An 8-foot-high chain-link fence blocked the exit. Running feet sounded nearby. We have to climb. Grab your dress with one hand. Camille towed off her shoes, jumped onto the fence, and started climbing. At least you're not in heels. Cass mumbled something about small favors, grabbed her dress, and climbed after her. That's my girl, you've got this. They scaled the fence in record time, jumped down, and were racing toward the street when the man in black slammed into the fence from the other side. cursing up a storm. They'd almost cleared the alley when a bullet whizzed by their heads and struck the building. Cass shrieked, "Don't look back!" And there you have
I'm,
it.
and I forgot how funny it is in spots too. I love that humor that breaks up some of the tension, but
Mhm.
not completely. So
Right. Thank
yeah,
you. Thank you. So yeah, and then we're literally off and running for the story. So
literally off and running. Yes, I,
yeah.
I love the pink smoke bomb. I mean, it's just perfect.
Right.
So I love how your mind thinks and how you percolate stories. So you got any stories percolating right now?
Yeah, it seems there's always something percolating. So, and sometimes it takes a little bit for them to percolate. This last one, like you said, was even more complex, and it was the
Hmm.
most complicated plot I've ever written. And it took a lot out of me. I'm not gonna lie. It kicked my butt to get it all straight and to make it what I wanted it to be. And it takes time. So there's things that are churning. I've been throwing ideas into the stew pot and letting them simmer, and we'll see how that goes.
Oh yeah, because the Speranza team, honey, don't give up on us.
I do love them. I'm not gonna lie. And I think one of the things that inspired this whole idea was that women are capable of so much more than we give them credit for. And I think so much more sometimes than we give ourselves credit for. Too often we're trained to take a back seat, to keep everybody comfortable, to live small.
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
Speranza ladies, they live large, right?
Hmm.
They take up space, they take risks, they go out there and help. And so I want to help empower women with these stories, right? To
Hmm.
inspire them to be more, to be proactive, to band together with their friends and make a difference, whatever that looks like in your world, but to not hang back, to just get in there and get your hands dirty and do it and spread hope and live large and make a difference in this world because everybody's matters and our voices matter and our efforts matter. So that's kind of the reason behind it all.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be that you're treasure hunting. It can
Yeah,
be just something that's just a little outside your comfort zone.
right.
Like maybe you go to the grocery store and you see a somebody who looks down and
Yeah,
just to be able to say, God bless you, or
right.
have a good day. And it's outside our comfort zone, but it can make an impact on others. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Yes, it doesn't have to be huge. You don't have to leave the country to do something. You can go across the street, and talk to a neighbor. I know that can be even scarier. It's easier to go across the world than
Yeah.
sometimes to go across to your neighbor, right? But
Yeah.
that's where we start. That's how we make a difference.
So
So,
good. That is just so good. So, for these video interviews, I like asking different questions than the blog interview, which that link will be down below in the description section. And there's a really kind of a fun writer's tip that Connie gives. So, you'll have to check that out. So, I wanted to know if you had a superpower, what would you want to do?
I've always wished I could fly. I think that would be about the coolest thing ever. My dad worked for the airlines his whole career, and so I grew up on airplanes.
Wow.
And to me, they're like a magic carpet, right? You get in on one place and a couple hours go by and it drops you off and you're in a whole nother world. And I've always thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
And it was so cool to be able to see from a different perspective. So I'm like, man, if I could fly and get a bird's eye view of things and maybe even warn somebody if something was going to happen and just,
Mm.
you know, um, yeah, I think that just might be the coolest superpower ever.
Wow.
Be able to fly.
Wow.
I think that would be that's what I would like if I could pick one. Yeah. Yeah. How about
Yeah.
you? What would you be? What would you want?
Well, interestingly enough, yeah, I used to work for the Air Force ROTC. I was their detachment office manager.
Okay.
And um, man, I wanted to fly fighter jets.
I
And
love it. I love it.
oh man, I wanted to fly fighter jets. And we had a flight instructor, a jet flight, fighter pilot instructor who was a captain. Of course, it's a different
Oh yeah.
captain in the Air Force.
Very, very
Uh,
different.
yeah, so I would, and then I thought, well, it's never going to happen. So I decided, I just prayed. I said, okay, Jesus, when I get to heaven, you and I are going flying, and we're going to be flying some F-18s or F-15s because F-18, I think, is a two-seater. But
Okay.
um, yeah, F-15. Yeah.
Nice. I like it. Yeah, I wanted to take lessons and I was all set to do it and life got in the way and it never happened. So maybe I can come with you. How about that?
Oh, yeah,
I
we
want
could
to
do
go on one
that.
of those.
Yeah.
Be amazing.
Yeah, I
Woo.
don't know if I'm that daring though. So,
Yeah, it'd be cool though. It'd be cool.
oh,
But also, I forgot to say too, when we were talking earlier, last summer, besides my brain being tired from writing this book, hubby and I, we got to fulfill a lifetime dream for me. Um, a lot of people don't know I have a missions degree from way back when. But we got to go to Kenya last summer, which is always on my bucket list, and with a nonprofit called Lift the Lid, started by a fellow writer named Sarah Goff and we helped support some schools there. So we got to visit two different schools, a girls' high school and also a elementary school, and just had the best time. Hubby got to teach in aerodynamics because he's an engineer type, and I got to teach creative writing, and each of the five team members got to teach. And since then, I've had the opportunity to do some Zoom teaching to teach creative writing to fifth and sixth graders in Kenya. Um, and I've taught three out of the four workshops, and it's been just so fun to walk them through the creative writing process and write their own little stories. And of course, the time change means it's 7 a.m. here when I do that, but that's okay. There's coffee. So yeah, it's been one of the coolest opportunities too. So I'm so excited for opportunities God has sent my way to do some things like that, even from my little home office to try to make a difference there halfway around the world.
yeah, I love that. Because we know that writing is more than entertainment. Writing is really digging things out of your heart and digging things from your experience.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have kids that are in environments that can be a little challenging, that can be very cathartic for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just been so fun to see them getting excited and about using their imaginations because often there's a lot of pressure there for them to do really well on these standard tests for their future. Even when
Hmm.
they're in sixth grade, they start, and it's cumulative, it matters, and they're just kids. But to be able to unleash that and say, well, what happens next? What do you think? What could happen? And seeing their
Right.
eyes light up when they're like, ooh, and maybe this and maybe that. And I'm like, yes, to be creative because it's such a gift that we're given, but we kind of sometimes have to learn to use it. And so that's been really a gift to try to share that gift.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So you mentioned coffee. Are you a coffee person? Do you like just coffee, tea?
So I am for sure a first thing in the morning coffee person, and I will admit I'm very spoiled because hubby gets up before me and he makes the coffee. So all I have to do is push the
Mm.
button when I get up for hot coffee. So I appreciate that very much. And I love iced tea. I'll drink iced tea all summer long. I do not like hot tea. There's something about it makes me go No," and I think part of it is because my mother had some really creative concoctions when we were sick that we had to suck down, and somehow that aversion stuck. So, you know, hot tea, no thank you. Hot coffee, yes, please. But interestingly enough, right, Kenya is, tea plantations are a big part
Right.
of that there, and we were guests in someone's home, and there they served coffee and tea together, mixed. And
Really?
yeah, with hot milk in it, of all things. And
Mm.
interestingly enough, that worked for me. I could do that. I could do them together, but I don't want tea.
No
It's hot.
concoctions except for that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one I could do. It was interesting. I was like, oh, okay. Of course, you're a guest. You never want to offend. But our eyes all got real big. We're like, wait, that's coffee and tea in the same pot. And it worked. Yeah,
and it worked.
it worked. So I can do that.
Well, now, doesn't Kenya, do they produce coffee too, or is it just Ethiopia?
They do some coffee too, yeah.
Yeah,
But tea is a much
yeah.
bigger crop for them. Yes.
Well, on that note, this month's giveaway, thanks to Connie and to Tyndale, is a softcover copy of The Liar's Treasure. It's a softcover copy of The Liar's Treasure. And you can have up to 6 entries to win a copy of this. And down below in the description section are the instruction and also on the blog interview. But basically, it's just subscribe, like, comment, and share. So, and we really want to help Connie get this newest book from the Speranza team series out.
Yes.
So, what's that a picture of? Is that the cathedral?
I think it's one of the, yeah, one of the churches. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
the artists did a beautiful job with it. They just did.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Both books, the covers that Tyndale did have been just amazing. I so appreciate everyone at Tyndale has been amazing to work with, but their cover people have kicked it out of the park. I was just delighted with the cover.
Yeah. I love Tyndale. I love working with Tyndale.
Yeah, they have been just amazing to work with. I'm so blessed to be able to work with them. All of them. Amazing people.
Well, the drawing will be held March 13th, Friday, March 13th. So get all those entries in by the 12th of March. And one thing is that entries can only from the contiguous US. So still working on a way to include others because most of my subscribers, I shouldn't say most, a lot of my subscribers are from outside the contiguous US. So I'd like to be able to do something for them eventually.
Understood.
So, Connie, thanks so much for making time to talk with us. And I think that people are going to absolutely fall in love with the Speranza team. Um, I would love if you would share some final thoughts with us.
Absolutely. First, thanks so much for having me. What a joy to get to talk with you and just talk about the book a little bit. So thank you for that. And I hope the listeners will check out The Liar's Treasure. I hope they also fall in love with the Speranza team and going on an adventure with them. And like we've said, The Crown Conspiracy is the book before that, and also the team. But they can be read as standalones. But beyond just enjoying a fun adventure, which has value of its own, I
Yes.
also hope this series encourages readers to find their own Speranza team if they don't, because we're so isolated. If you don't have a group of women that you are connected with, go find one or create one, and then do things, take risks, go places, reach out, live as the best version of yourself. Live a good story. Don't just read a good story,
Ooh,
live a good story, right? And use your unique abilities and your talents and your skills to make the world a better place. We all can do that. We all bring something unique. So don't hide your light under a bushel. Go be you and be the best version of you and team up with some others and make a difference. And that's what I hope these stories encourage women to do.
amen. Amen. Well said. Well, thanks everyone for watching the 60-second interview episode. And I just really appreciate your subscribes and your shares and for supporting authors like Connie and getting the word out on their books. And down below in the description section, just another reminder that we have all sorts of great links, our social media links, my social media links, where to buy Connie's books, where to buy my books, and just check out those links and see. Next month, the A2A show will feature best-selling and award-winning Southern fiction author T.I. Lowe, and that T stands for Tanya.
Oh,
So
love her books.
I
Love
do too. I do too. They're so quirky and
her.
meaningful.
They
So
are. They
yeah.
are.
So thanks for being such a great guest, Connie. I had so much fun, and I can't wait for your next book. And viewers, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next month. But in the meantime, God bless and keep reading.
Reading.